So Kennedy Carter was frustrated with the top 25 list from the WNBA, and she should be because, in my opinion, I think she's been a top 10 player this season. Without Kennedy Carter, the Chicago Sky are not even an 8th seed. They're probably not even a playoff team. They're a bottom feeder, complete trash. Because let's be honest, Angel Reese is not that good on offense yet. She's great at hustling, rebounding the basketball, but when it comes to having a sufficient offensive game, it's not there yet. And she's going to have to develop a consistent mid-range game, post moves, so she's more effective on that side of the ball. When you're shooting 4-14 yesterday, 4-13 today, and you don't have a score picking up the slack, you saw it against the Mercury. They scored 65 points in that game. Carter is huge for the Sky because they don't have a lot of shooting, so they lack spacing. They don't have a lot of other weapons on this team. So Carter has done a great job of carrying that responsibility. Now let's just look at the production from Kennedy Carter this season. Now she started off the bench and she was a big spark plug. 12 points here, 11 points. Field goal percentage is solid. 66% shooting, 50%. And then, not too good here. 12 points, 12, 11, 12, 14. Now again, she's coming off the bench. Plays the Fever, 19 points on almost 70% shooting. That's impressive. 16 points. Field goal percent wasn't as good. But again, she's going to score a lot because the Sky doesn't have a lot of options out there. So she has to take on this task. 25 points against the Mystics, 58% shooting, 5-5 from the free throw line. You love people getting to the free throw line. She's actually a plus 13.2 on the offensive rating ever since she's been inserted into the starting lineup. And then you go to the Atlanta game, 4 points. I read that wrong. Only 15 minutes off the bench again at 10 points. 16 against the Mystics, 18 points against the Indiana Fever. But as you can see, her shooting percentage has been solid for the most part. And then you go to the game against against the Dallas Wings. I think it's when she got inserted. Because she got 27 minutes. Just where she got inserted to the lineup. 19 points, 80% shooting. I mean, the girl's cooking. You go to the Fever game, 23 points on 66% shooting, 20 points, 45%. Took a little bit of dip, but in July, she was cooking out there. 26 points, almost 70% shooting, 33 points. And she's a bucket getter. That's what she's supposed to do. And that's what the Sky need. They don't have a lot of offense. 21 points against the Storm again. 19 against Atlanta. Against a really good New York Liberty team, I think you get 22 points, 5 assists on almost 48% shooting. You tip your hat. Of course, Liberty again. Tough to beat that team. But then you go play the Aces in their building. You get 34 points. And again, her minutes, she's not playing almost 40 minutes a night every game. 30 minutes on 34 points, almost 60% shooting, 6 or 7 from the free throw line. I know she had 9 points today, but she's still getting over that illness, so they wanted probably to ramp her up and not push her too far. But again, as you can see here, Kennedy Carter is important for the Sky. And it doesn't get talked about enough because her minutes aren't close to that, 35 mark every game. And she's still putting up these kind of numbers. So for me, the list did her a disservice. And I would be just as upset, especially if my field goals percentage is up. I'm the best player on this team when it comes to offense. I think she's the best player for the Sky. And without me, the Sky are nowhere. They're not even in contention for a playoff spot right now without Kennedy Carter's contribution. Angel Reese, as good as she is on rebounding and defense, offense is not one of her strengths yet. So they need Carter out there. She's quick. She's athletic. She makes quick decisions out there. And let's just be honest. If the Sky did not have Kennedy Carter, this team would be a dumpster fire right now. And when you're ranking these two players, Carter, to me, again, is a top 10 player, and Angel Reese is between that 17-22 range. So I have no problem putting Angel Reese there and Carter there as well because they both do different things for your team. I think if Reese had a better offensive game, this wouldn't matter as much. But because Reese isn't effective on offense, she gets a lot of offensive rebounds. She's great on defense, but not scoring enough, that's going to backfire. And if Carter isn't giving these buckets and this type of contribution, they're going to score 65 points a night, as you saw with the Mercury game. Yeah, they beat the Sparks today. They struggled, but they got the win, thank God. I think if Carter wasn't sick, she probably would have dropped 25 points today and took over that game and carried the Sky to a win. She's done that a lot this season. She's carried the Sky to a lot of W's. And at halftime, the Sky were at 42 points. So, again, that's why you need Carter's contribution because she's their best offensive weapon out there. Chennedy Carter is the type of player, if you ask her who's the best player in the WNBA, she's going to say herself because she has that type of confidence. She's already said that Angel Reese is the Rookie of the Year because she's going to prop up her teammate. Just like Aaliyah Boston says to everyone Caitlin Clark is Rookie of the Year. That's fine. She has a ton of confidence. I have no problem with that. And you need that type of energy on your team, especially when you don't have enough offense out there, when you need contributions from somebody, because Angel Reese isn't going to score because her post moves are not there yet. And she can't go out there and just hit a mid-range shot. But when Angel Reese gets to a point where she's hitting a jump shot consistently, she has a consistent post game, that's when the sky will elevate on offense. And if you want to have a conversation about Caitlin Clark versus Chennedy Carter, I've got no problem here because you got to look at the responsibility that Carter has to carry night in and night out. Without her contributing, the sky is terrible. Of course, Caitlin Clark, without her point guard playmaking, the Fever are terrible. So looking at both situations here, when the Sky have no offensive weapons outside of Carter, who can be consistent, get you a bucket, and keep you in the game, that has a lot of value to me. Of course, Clark, without her playmaking, who knows how the Fever are generating offense. But you can make an argument that Carter has been better than Clark. You can make an argument that Clark has been better than Carter. I just think they're both fantastic players, in my opinion. I just don't think ESPN really thought this through. But again, it's ESPN. They're going to make crazy lists all the time. And Carter has every right to be upset. And then when you have a plus 13.2 offensive rating out there, you can't just gloss over that stat. You saw what happened against the Mercury. They were horrible on offense. You need weapons out there. And Carter has been the number one option. That is no knock on Angel Reese. I just think the construction of this roster is not good. But when they get more shooting around Angel Reese and help Carter out, you'll see Angel Reese get better, in my opinion. I think she'll work on her bag this offseason. I think she'll develop some post moves. She'll come back even better next season, especially with that motor, because she can hustle, she rebounds, she doesn't stop out there. So even when she's missing baskets, she's still crashing the glass. So it's just a matter of time before her offensive game catches up to her defensive game. But yeah, I get why Chennedy Carter is upset. You look at what she's doing for the Sky and how she's carrying the offensive load. You can't just gloss over that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how Chennedy Carter felt about being snubbed and being 24th on that top 25 list. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.